Okay, so hello, hope you're well. By the time this gets posted, it'll likely be February, so hello, time traveler, how are you? Hope you're well. One thing about my ex, when I think back on it, is that we always know when somebody is not good for us. And we try so hard to convince ourselves and to make ourselves believe that that's not the case. You know, we want to believe that there's hope. And to some degree, this is deliberate on their part. They want us to doubt ourselves and to believe in a falsity so that we can stick around, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, one thing that was like super obvious to me, I feel like even in the moment, as it was happening, was that it was really, really, really hard for me to stick to my goals when I was with him, you know what I mean? Because I've always been a goal-oriented person, and I don't know, I made the mistake several times of sharing my goals with this person, and whenever I did, immediately, I would start backtracking, you know what I mean? Just not making progress at all and going backwards, honestly. And when I think about it in hindsight, and when I think about it from in the moment, it was very obvious, nothing's working, this isn't harmonious, nothing's going right. So obviously something's off here. And so I knew even in that moment, I was at some point I'm gonna break up with this dude. I'm gonna this is not gonna be a thing. But I did try to convince myself. I did try to force myself to kind of believe that we could make it work, we could do it. But that was foolish as fuck, because he was not willing to, you know what I mean? He whatever. I think I said this in a previous video, and I also said this on live stream recently. I think a lot of us make a habit out of getting into relationships with people out of comfort, out of pleasure, out of fear of being alone. And when you do this, you tend to match with the wrong people, you know what I mean? You match with people who don't share your interests, who don't share your worldview. And obviously you don't have to agree on everything. You don't. But if you are going to commit yourself to another person, you should at least be willing to show up for them and to tend to their needs. You know what I mean? You should be willing to do things to try to make them happy, try to make them feel good. You know what I mean? And vice versa. But a lot of people get into relationships with there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's been a while since I've had to edit a video. I might have to edit this because an alarm just fucking went off and it interrupted the fucking video. So take two. Hello. So what I was saying was we get into relationships and I'm sorry, that pissed me off. We get into these connections and we're looking for something to balance us out, but it's and a lot of people don't like hearing this. This is a very hard thing for people to receive. But you cannot get anything out of somebody else that you cannot cultivate within yourself. You can only meet other people as far as you've met yourself. And if you don't have a certain level of love for yourself, you're not going to get that same level of love from somebody else. You might be able to for a while, but you can't sustain it. You know what I mean? It has to start from within. And once again, we could agree to disagree. You could think whatever you want. You could feel whatever you want. But that's something that I've come to understand. And so you know what I mean? I try really hard to work on myself and work from within, before turning to somebody else or looking for somebody else to give me something. You know what I mean? That really pissed me off because I was really in flow right there, and it just said ding 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 ding, alarm, bitch, time to meditate. I think that was the meditation alarm. It's 12:13. Yeah, that was the 12 alarm. Gosh golly, I hope it doesn't go off again because I don't think I ended it. I think I just put it off. I don't know. But yeah, relationships are a lot of work. and they can teach us a lot about ourselves and about the world. But you also kind of have to have that mindset. You also have to be open to that learning, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just pain, it's just discomfort, it's just annoyance, you know what I mean? And if you're watching this video, that means to some degree you are aligned with like this energy, you are aligned with thinking differently. And so, you know, if it doesn't hurt you too much, you should really consider that. Like, consider like why you want to be in a relationship and like what you're willing to give in a relationship, you know. And when I say relationship, obviously we are talking romantic, but this can also apply to friendships and other sorts of relationships. So however it resonates, you know, because it's like, how good of a person can you be to somebody else if you're not willing to be there for yourself first, you know what I mean? And there's always an exception to the rule. I'm sure there are people out there who are really good for other people but not really great for it themselves. I'm sure they exist, but the point is to be good within and without. Like, that's the point, that's the goal. You know, because at the end of the day, we spend the most time in our own bodies, in our own minds, you know what I mean? And we can search outside ourselves all we want, but like, it will get you nowhere. It will get you in a lot of messy situations. It will have you having kids and putting your trauma into those kids. Like, you know? So if you're watching this video, it would really be a good idea for you to really meditate on that. Really sit with that, think about that, ask your higher power about that. And like, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye.